what's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. We're live at the U.S. Open. Gentlemen, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, since you're in the tennis world, this is a little new to you. Are you guys actually going to be calm today?
Of course. Maybe. Just a little bit. No, I'm lying.
Molly loves only in tennis. I'm handing out L's today. We're talking NFL plus NBA. Who'd you rather start a franchise with, LeBron or KD?
Hold off on the details. The first order of business is reminding everybody this is still First Take. I don't care that we here. We still gonna do First Take the way we do it. Plus, we've got Coco Gauff's parents here. We got John McEnroe coming into the house. We're live at the U.S. Open. The crew is in the house. Let's go, y'all.
This is a sort of McEnroe type show, isn't it?
Oh my God! Would you guys please behave yourselves?
Yeah. I know they talking. I don't hear them though.
Quite an electric atmosphere.
She dug so deep in the tight moments.
Oh my God. Game, set, let's go. 2 sets to 1, 6-2, 4-6, 6-4.
Her game went to another gear, went to another level. Champions do that. They find that next level.
Good morning. First Take on a Feel Good Friday, live from Flushing, the U.S. Open, part of ESPN's coverage of the final major of the season. Coco Gauff is the young phenom who took the tennis world by notice on Saturday. She will face the #1 in the world, Naomi Osaka. Remember, she beat Serena in that infamous match. And we are so thrilled to be joined by her parents, Candi and Corey. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
Let me just ask you this. Your daughter is 15 years old, and we're hearing chants, Coco, 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 an entire stadium. What is that like?
Go ahead.
Well, as a parent, it's just thrilling to see that the fans really have fallen in love with her. And I'm watching her speak at the end of the match, and I sort of teared up because it's like everything is coming to life for her, and it's a dream coming true.
How do you guys deal with that? Like, obviously, you don't change your whole lives around to raise a kid to play tennis because that's her passion, unless you want her to have great success. But I imagine you wouldn't think it would come at this level at the age of 15. How do you deal with that kind of exposure and the loss of kind of a normal life for her at that age in order to compete on this level?
Well, I think early on we knew that she was special talent. Wasn't sure what sport she played. And then as she started to fall in love with tennis kind of chose her. As she started to get better, we started making changes to our lifestyle to accommodate her success and give her the opportunity to be successful. So, what normal is what you define for a kid. So a normal teenager versus another teenager just depends on what you define for them. But for her, she wanted to play tennis and wanted to be really good at tennis. So we just tried to create an atmosphere where she could be the best she could be.
Believe it or not, for me, when I look at her, I obviously we know her age, her speed, her athleticism, her power. It's all there. But the thing that I marvel at most is her poise. At age 15, she seems to have an incredible level of poise that some have told me they haven't seen from 25, 30-year-olds, for crying out loud. Can you talk to us about that? And where does she get that from? How has she been able to develop that over the years?
Well, I think it's been a process to get there. I mean, we've seen her when she was a lot younger, winning a match handily and start crying in the middle of the match. and I almost couldn't finish the match. But I think, a combination, her mother works with her. She, my wife did individual sports. So I think a combination of that over the constantly playing tough matches. She's had a lot of tough matches in the juniors. I think she started to develop poise. And I think hopefully she's realizing that if she could remain poised, she's giving herself the best chance to be successful.
She's handled the pressure and the stage with grace. It's absolutely incredible. Max, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. You're both former Division I athletes. So obviously you have whatever other talent you have to be extremely competitive and focused and dedicated and all that. And now you have a daughter who's at this level at 15.
Right.
I imagine she's insane. She's an insanely competitive person. Does that extend to outside of tennis too? Must she win at everything?
Well, we're a competitive family, so that's just a natural thing. Competition is what we are. If it's who's going to be the first one to the car, or if we're taking two separate cars, we're trying to who's going to be the first one home. So it's just natural for us to be competitive.
About everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Checkers, flipping coins.
All right, speaking of competition, Saturday, she's facing the #1 in the world, Naomi Osaka. What are you most looking forward to seeing your daughter go up against that competition?
Well, for me, the #1 thing is to fight. Always fight, run after the balls, do the best that you can under the given circumstances, never give up, and never say die. So when you have that mentality going in, even when you can't figure something out, you just keep digging, another point, another chance, and that's what we kind of try to teach her.
This question is more for you, about you two, than her.
Sure.
Obviously, at age 15, she's accomplishing great things. She's going to continue to accomplish great things. All indications point to that. But we think about some of the greats. We're looking at Venus and Serena. Obviously, they can't go on forever. They've been great for the sport of tennis. We know what they've done. The great Althea Gibson, Zena Garrison, people like that. Do you two find yourself thinking about tennis from an historical perspective as it pertains to being an African-American when it comes to watching your daughter perform the way that she performs?
Oh, absolutely. I think that at the start of this, I did a lot of research and all the prodigies, but, off the Ashe, I was a big fan. I played tennis because of off the Ashe, similar to the effect that Tiger Woods had on African-American men playing golf. So I think that history is important. She understands that history, and she knows she's going to have a place in that history to inspire more people to, maybe not just play tennis, but to, be really diligent about going after their dreams and pursuing their dreams, whether it's academically, professionally, but, giving yourself the opportunity to be the best that you can be and believe that you can do that.
And when you look at the sport of tennis and you've seen the greats, even watching Serena still doing the things that she's done, I imagine you see your daughter accomplishing these things. She says that obviously she's idolized them, but she wants to be the greatest ever. I know she believes she can pull it off. I believe y'all believe she can pull it off, but could you put that in perspective? What your expectations are for her, not just your hope?
Well, I told her to shoot high in her goals, and being the greatest of all time. Some people can say, well, that's too much, and while you're boasting, you're being cocky. No, if you play a sport, you want to be the best, and you want to be the greatest to ever play that sport. Now, ultimately, you'll get judged by how you perform through your career, but I don't know anybody that goes out to be the second best, and if they are trying to be the second best, they won't even make it in the sport anyway. So that's the perspective. She wants to be the greatest at it because she's working hard.
You guys think, in order to do that nowadays, back in the day when I was a kid, John McEnroe was 27. He's an old man, right? Now you have Serena, others playing into their late 30s.
Yeah, 38.
So to be the greatest of all time, she's 15 now. You're talking about her playing maybe for the next quarter century, knock wood. Do you guys think about that kind of marathon for her at this level in this sport?
Well, I hope she wants to play that long. I mean, I don't know that she, if she plays that long, great. If she decides after 10 years she don't want to do it anymore, but it is a marathon, though. So I know she's gotten a little bit ahead of the plan that we kind of laid out for her. So we'll see how it goes, but she's definitely beat the curve all along. Every time we set a benchmark, she seems to exceed it, but that's her competitiveness.
It's also because of you two.
Absolutely.
This incredible, solid foundation that she has. Hit the lottery, I think, with parents as well. I cannot wait for Saturday, let me tell you, to see her against Naomi right here at the U.S. Open. Thank you guys so much for being here. What a great story.
Thank you for having